Mindful Life Practice community.
All right, here we are. So welcome to our Yin practice. We're going to do a Yin practice today that is going to specifically target the kidney meridian, targeting at like calming stress and anxiety. And we're going to start our practice seated, but we're going to place one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. And then lengthen up along your spine, vertebrae upon vertebrae. And then soften your shoulders down back. And use this as a moment to take an inventory of yourself. Take an inventory of what is happening with you in every dimension. So physically, spiritually, emotionally. And then set an intention for your practice today. What do you want to get out of it? For me, I'm in kind of a headspace of there's a lot going on with me right now. And so I want to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system and flip the switch to wind down. So maybe that's an intention that resonates with you, or maybe something else. But take a moment to identify it so that it can inspire your practice. And we're going to do a little bit of movement to just kind of shift things around in our bodies before we settle. So you're going to take your next breath in and just release your palms and lift them up towards the sky. Big stretch. And then land your fingertips on the mat beside you. One arm, your right arm or left, whatever. Inhale the other arm up and then take it into a side body stretch. We're going to inhale the arms all the way up towards the sky. And then land the opposite way. And then side body stretch the other way. Take an inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. And then let's take it into a twist. So landing your left palm on your right knee, right fingertips behind you, big inhale, lengthen. And then turn over the right shoulder. Then let's inhale, take our arms all the way up. And then twist the opposite way. Inhale, come all the way up. Take your palms into your heart center. And then just drop the palms for a moment. Let's drop our right earlobe down towards our right shoulder. And then maybe take your right palm up and land it on the side of your skull. So we're gonna stay here for just a few rounds of breath, not super long. And take the head all the way back up through center. Land the right palm. And then just feel the difference from the left side to the right. And then we're going to drop the left earlobe down towards the left shoulder. And then take the left palm up. Use it as an anchor. Take one more round of breath. Then just bring the head all the way back through center. And then we're going to start our practice with a butterfly pose. So bringing soles of feet together. If you might want to, you could be sitting on a pillow. You could also have a pillow in front of you if you want. And basically we're going to curl forward. If this doesn't feel comfortable for your low back, you can also be up here, that's okay. But if it is comfortable for you, we're gonna curl forward and maybe prop up the forehead. So we're going to be working with the kidney meridian today. Kidney chi is the home of fear, but it's also the home of the great seat of wisdom. And chi is the energy that flows through our body along the paths of these meridians. And being able to identify, to investigate, to sit with fears, it can lead to a surge of wisdom. So I think in our modern society, fear doesn't necessarily show up as fear. It might show up as anxiety. It might show up as loss of power. Being able to realize and to explore any of these can all help us address fear. And maybe the wisdom that's present as well. So we're going to work on a sequence that's really targeting balancing the kidney chi. And this will be the low back, the adrenals, the bones, the joint. So we'll just stay in this shape for like 1 more minute. Ten more breaths. Slowly start to peel your way up out of it. Taking the knees back up to close. And then to take a counter position, we're going to come into a cross-legged. And then we're going to come into a spinal twist on both sides, and we'll stay in the twist for just a minute. So what this twist is going to do is it's just going to neutralize the spine after a flexion. And then we'll come all the way back through center. And then twist the opposite way. And come all the way back. So the next pose we're going to take is going to be a half butterfly. I think you can see me. I have my leg lengthened out, my right leg lengthened out. And then my left sole of foot is on the inside of the right leg. And then we're just going to turn our body so that it's like squared with the center. And then once again, we're forward folding again. So coming all the way forward. And then you might prop yourself up again with blocks or pillows, or just be on the elbows. And so this is going to be a stretch for the back of the right leg. So the main part of the kidney meridian that we're targeting with our yin practice, it travels up the inside of the leg and into the tailbone, and then up the spine. So these poses we're going to do today, they tug at and they pressurize the connective tissue in the groin and the low back. And this is where the kidney meridian passes through. And yin is also just soothing. Let's always helpful if we're feeling anxious or stressed or depleted. So we're going to be here for about 2 more minutes. Taking about 5 more breaths. And then slowly start to peel all the way up. We're going to switch directly into the opposite way. So your left leg extends. Your right sole of foot comes to the inside of the left leg. And then taking a breath in, just lengthening up through the spine. And then slowly starting to walk your way forward on this side. So I've been having a really interesting week. I've been really peeling back the layers of my memory and my brain. I started out to tell a story. And I'm beginning to understand that what I understood about myself was not everything. And as I speak about that, I'm like, I don't know if I make any sense. But for years and years, I had one story. And the story was that I came from Kuwait, where I lived in the Prohibition. And I came to Abu Dhabi where it was party central. And I got really into this party mode. Making up for lost time. And that's the narrative that I tell around myself and my relationship to alcohol. And it's been really, really interesting for me to actually peel back and realize that that's not really what happened at all. There's actually years of things that happened that I drank to forget. And it's fascinating the way the human memory thing works. Like there are things that I don't even recall that are all of a sudden coming back to me this week. And it's interesting because as I sit and I write and I write and I write, my body feels it. Right? Like it's not just sitting in a chair all day. It's like my traps muscles start to get knots. And my hips feel tight. And you feel the places that where trauma lives in the body. I think that there's lots of things that we need to do to heal. Yoga is one of them. Processing is one of them. Maybe writing is one of them. For everyone, it's different, but part of, I guess, life is learning to find what works for you. I'm just going to stay for a few more breaths, like 5 more breaths here. And then just start to slowly peel all the way up. Land the palms and land the soles of the feet, and we're just going to rock from side to side. And then the next pose that we're going to do, it's going to counter all of this. So we just did 3 poses in a row that were very forward foldy. So the next thing we're going to do is going to be a heart opener. We're going to take melting heart. So you're going to come onto your hands and knees into a table. And then just start to walk your hands forward as your head or your chin just lowers onto the mat.
one thing that writing about my past has really helped me with. It's helped me see a lot of gratitude for where I am in my life right now. All of you have been practicing yoga with me for 5 months or more. And so you all know that I have been grumbling on about teaching and how I don't want to be a teacher anymore. And while that is true, and this will probably be my last year of teaching, I had forgotten how truly grateful I am to be at the school I'm at now, in the country I'm in now. There is so much joy in my life. Like, it is night and day from what I experienced prior to being here. And I think sometimes when you get bogged down in your daily stuff, you forget these details. There's clarity in contrast. And I really have so much to be grateful for. I'm going to stay in our melting heart pose
For just a little bit longer, maybe 5 more breaths. And then you're gonna peel up. And then to counter this pose, we're just gonna shift slowly back into a balasana, a child's pose. And then slowly start to peel your way up. And then just make your way back to seated. All right, so we're gonna take fire log pose. So you're gonna lay your left shin across the width of the mat and then bring your right ankle to cross. I'm gonna move back so you can see me. So generally the goal here is to have your shins stacked. And in theory, they're parallel. As you can see, my right knee is quite high. That's okay. It's because my hips are a bit more tight in this pose. What I often see people doing is like having their ankle too far past or too far behind. And you want your ankle to be like directly stacking on the knee. And then if your knee is like too far up, you could have a block. So if this is not working for your knees, by the way, I just want to show you another option. You can just do a normal reclined pigeon like this. But if you're okay in the fire log, we're going to stay here. And if it's appropriate for you and if it feels good, you might want to fold forward. The sensation is going to get more intense the more forward you fold. So go easy on yourself, take your time. Knowing that we will be here for a while. Someone I work with right now, she told me last week that we tend to provide the services to others that we once needed for ourselves. And I thought this was really, really fascinating. Because the hardest part in my life was a period of time when I was isolated from a yoga studio. That was the hardest thing that I have gone through. Well, not being away from the yoga studio itself. That was not the hardest thing in my life. That was the hardest thing in my life. I've had a pretty easy life. But I mean, not having yoga at a time when I needed it. And it's interesting because this year was a time when a lot of people did not have yoga when they needed it. And that's when the mindful life practice came to life. So often we provide the services that we once wish we had or we once needed. And as I get deeper into my writing about Kuwait, it becomes more and more true. We're going to be here for just one more minute. You can do this. You can do hard things. You can. You're so much more resilient than you think you are. Just take a few more breaths. And then slowly come up. Now what we're gonna do for a counter pose for this is we're gonna uncross the legs and press the feet into the mat and then just lift your bottom up. I don't know if you guys can see me. Yeah, you can. As if you're like crab walking, you're a kid. I guess this actually is a yoga pose. This is called reverse table. And then slowly come down. And then we'll take the opposite side. So you're gonna lay your right shin across the width of the mat and then stack your left shin on top. Yay, this is so comfortable. You know, I think I've told you guys that there's a lot of yoga poses that I avoid in my teaching and in my practice, and this is for sure one of them. Because it is so uncomfortable for me. But this resilience training, doing this yin practice regularly, I'm sure this would have helped a lot at a time when I needed it. I've said it before, but yoga and yin especially, that's what it is. It's resilience training. Because you're holding the pose and your brain is like, F this, I can't do this, this is so hard, this is so uncomfortable, when will this be over? And you are teaching yourself to breathe. You are teaching yourself to be calm within chaos. And this is a skill that goes beyond this yoga class. This walks off your mat with you. This walks into your life. So 2 more minutes, keep holding on if you can. If you have to back off, it's okay. You're still a yogi. If you're backing off, you're honoring what you need. So it's all good. Just 10 more breaths. Just 1 more breath. And then come all the way back with your hands. Uncross your legs last time. Press through the feet, press through your palms, lift your hips up. And then we're going to slowly make our way back. Coming into our final resting pose, we made it to the end. Coming into our shavasana. set yourself up into a shape where you feel totally supported. Totally grounded. Just make any further adjustments you need to before settling into stillness. And then absorb in the comfort of the position. Into the safety of your environment. And give yourself permission to surrender. Surrender control of the body and mind as you release into the sensation of stillness. Going to the feet and giving them permission to relax. Next, allowing the legs to relax. Next, allowing the hands to relax. Allow the arms to relax. Let your shoulders relax. Your pelvis relax. Your abdomen relax. Your chest relax. Let the whole body relax. Let the neck relax. Let the head relax. Let the face relax. Let the whole body relax. Absorb into stillness. Know that I'll bring you back when the time is up. Please bring positivity into my life every day. Please bring positivity into my life every day. Please bring only joy and peace and everything that is love. Please bring only joy and peace and everything that is love. Please bring positivity into my life every day. Give your fingers and your toes a little wiggle. Run a nice long stretch, fingertips all the way through toes. Curl your knees into your chest. Give your body a nice big hug. And then slowly make your way up to seated. Taking your palms at heart center. Just realized it's our original Abu Dhabi crew all in this class, which is pretty cool. We've all been here, I think, for 5 months doing yoga together, so that is pretty special. We close with our intention. It's an ancient intention, but perhaps the original intention passed from heart to heart through thousands of years. That our yoga practice remain steady. That our efforts on this path remain continuous. And that our yoga serves and benefits all beings everywhere. We'll finish with an Om, inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling through to make the Om. So take a large breath in. You can empty your breath out. And take a big breath in. Have a wonderful evening. Have a great sleep. Namaste.